Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe. Yeah.
About this later on on Werewolf Radar's movie
Morbius watch. Yeah.
But right now we're doing the paranormal news. Werewolf Radar's paranormal news coming at you. I'm
What's up,
Roger,
freaks?
joined by Jordan
Hello.
and Nate.
Hi.
And we're talking this week about a couple who has moved twice to escape aggressive spirits
Eesh.
that CCTV has shown moving various objects.
Wow. Okay.
I'm
Have
reading
they
this.
attempted flatulence?
They have not. If you want to know more about how flatulence can save you from demons, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/werewolf radar.
Careful.
And also
though.
give us a 5-star review wherever you can.
Yeah.
It really helps others find the show.
Give us those
Easiest way to
stars.
support us for free. And if you just want a one-time quick-off support of the show, check out our merch store, werewolfradar.com. Hit merch. We got fun little shirts and whatnot.
Sweet merch for your perch.
Now,
For your
let's go
one-time
on.
quick off.
Let's go on with the mirror.co.uk,
Okay.
written by
God, the mirror just every week.
They do good work.
Anna
The hot sheets,
Phillips.
baby.
or Hannah Phillips. If they're
Mhm.
British, you pronounce it because there's a fucking H there.
Hannah.
Hannah Phillips
Anna
Paige-
Phillips.
Freshwater, the content editor.
Wow.
And the content editor, there's a weirdly placed comma. Anyway,
The content editor had to take out all the swears. Initially, this draft was just festooned with swears. The bad ones, too. The British ones.
So once again, this news of the paranormal variety is a couple has moved twice to escape aggressive spirits. Nick Summers, who is 36, lives in Abilene, Texas, of the United States, unless U.S. means something else.
Sure. No, that's probably that same Abilene, Texas.
All right. Believes that
So
an
he had to
entity.
move all the way to another country twice.
Well, let's find out.
Well, Nick believes that an entity latched onto him after his heart stopped 3 times following a work accident.
That always scares
Okay,
me.
no, that's not an entity. That's something that his insurance should be dealing with.
They said
Yeah,
it was
that's
a
a heart
demon. They
murmur,
said
my
that
dude.
acts of God are not covered under the insurance.
Here in Abilene, only God makes those mistakes.
Now, his wife is too scared to sleep in her own house.
Wow. What are they? Go on. Read on.
I shall read on, but I got to turn on the lights because I get scared.
Because you're getting scared. You gave yourself a condition that I like to call the spook brain,
The
which is
spooky
where
brains.
you're just learning about it too much, and you don't know what it is, but all of a sudden, something's watching.
Now, a couple claim they have been forced to flee 2 homes to escape an aggressive spirit haunting them after her husband had a near-death experience.
Wow.
Their cameras have caught pens and TVs moving on their own.
Okay.
Nick
That's
Summers
aggressive.
believes an entity latched onto him after his heart stopped 3 times following a work accident, and his wife has had to sleep in hotel rooms.
Wow.
Footage from a camera set up to capture their ordeal shows a previously motionless pen dramatically rolling across a coffee table
Traumatic.
while the couple sitting.
Previously motionless pen is maybe my favorite.
It wasn't moving before.
Really trying to hit that 500 word limit, huh?
It wasn't moving before, okay? A picture of the couple and the table, and perhaps we can catch the pen. The video is all kind of locked down by the Mirror's reporting, but they did the table.
Come on.
And I
Good
think
Lord.
what I think is a
Abilene.
joint is a pen.
Nice.
together.
Funny. I want to hear more about what it was that led the woman to feel she needed to. She was like, I have to stay in a hotel.
Well, we have this the first incident, I think. Where was I on this? Every time you do it, it makes it go us with a motionless pen dramatically rolling
that.
across the coffee table
Mhm.
while the couple was sitting watching TV. Another video shows a spoon spinning around in a coffee cup while Nick sits on the sofa with his dog, and a third captures a couple's television falling from the wall without explanation. The third one is because he forgot to use what are those things? Anchors.
Could be.
Right.
Always anchor your TV to the wall.
It seems like the reason that she's staying in a hotel is because her husband's a catastrophe.
Yeah.
The oil rigger.
And he's like, no, I swear, love, it's a ghost.
So truly, that happens. The oil rig worker claims he and his nurse wife, Kenzie, were driven out of one home in June last year after Nick saw the ghost of a girl in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
He says he made contact with the entity using a spirit box. If you don't know what a spirit box is,
talk.
if you don't know what the spirit box is, it's a device that goes through frequencies very fast. This is the mostly used one, and then it'll pick out words, or not pick out words, but you'll make out words and such every once in a while.
It kind of makes this basically. If you ask me, it is perfectly set up for it's a pareidolia machine. It's I was
about to say the exact same.
Yeah, the frequencies go so fast that it's like it creates the perfect backdrop for your mind to sort of shape words and sounds and pick them out of the tapestry. But who's to say that that's not fucking part of it? My theories are more and more tipping towards the idea that ghosts and paranormal happenstance need a human observation, a human observer to even work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
right.
You've think of that way you will.
Schrodinger's ghost.
Schrodinger's ghost. Exactly.
The only way in the quantum sense that I understand it as, like, our perception can destroy and maintain wave functions of various things. And who's to say that those monsters, not monsters, sorry, ghost all around me.
Yeah, sorry, ghosts.
But who's to say that ghosts and other beings of different realities don't really pick up on that small little difference? And when you give them that difference, they can now maintain a consistent form in our realm.
Or maybe
they can now shoot their own particles through a piece of gold.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's the spirit box.
Yeah.
And they, through using it, communicated with a ghost named Dusty.
Oh.
Nick says the next day,
fun ghost name.
The next day, Nick says the ceiling mysteriously collapsed. That's he says they go through 20 light bulbs a month.
Wow.
As they keep blowing. So, I mean, definitely get your electrical checked out and make sure that all your walls have studs and whatnot.
For real. This sounds like
this is a lot of coincidence.
A nightmare of an apartment. It is, when put in the context of everything else, especially like the moving objects and stuff, you're like, strange.
2 different places too.
Yeah, that's weird.
Happens one, happens in the other. Anyway, we move on. We just talked about the 20 light bulbs they have to buy every month.
And that's fucking seems like, come on, Dusty.
Are you paying for these light bulbs? Do you understand how much light bulbs cost, Dusty?
Fucking chewing through these things.
He says, oh, nope, that was that. 20 light bulbs. Dusty's destroying everything. The pair moved to a new house 3 miles away where they claim the activity has cranked up. Nick hears his name being yelled in his own voice now.
Yikes.
Mimicking. Nick says, my house is pretty intense. We've had to move from 2 houses, and this entity has followed us, and we're moving again in a few weeks.
Well, gonna try again, huh?
Like we were saying, he confirms in both houses we would go through 14 to 20 light bulbs per month because they pop out. Boom. It's insane.
Now, do you think this is the type of thing where it's like this is a ghost trying to manifest itself, trying to, like this guy already admitted to using a spirit box? Is them reaching out to it, trying to make contact, making it more active, making these things like power surges happen? Is that a
they
possibility?
I think we are possibly in a situation where the contact made it more powerful. I hear these stories all the time in the on the Dead files.
Yeah.
And I think they unleashed something they should not have. Nick goes on, in the last house, the intensity got so bad, a coffee cup slid out of a stand and hit me. The sink would turn on. That's the sentence. I was getting hit with bottle caps, and I would go into the kitchen and all the cupboards would be open like a movie. All the cupboards would be open like in a movie.
That is some fucking...
I mean, a lot of this just sounds like symptomatic of alcoholism.
Somebody left the covers open again. Oh, the TV fell off the wall and hit me in the head.
That coffee cup flew on its own and hit me in the head.
I quite often think that.
He's getting hit by bottle caps, for Christ's sake.
The bottle cap seems like a really pointed, bullyish thing of a ghost to do. Just like flicking them at you, like, dance, do a dance. That's funny.
Now, the creepiest thing that has ever happened, Nick says, was that they saw a shadow the size of a fridge come into our bedroom.
Yikes.
Down the hall and stop in front of us and go up to the ceiling.
The fridge is coming for us.
Is he just... Is he trying to make fun of his wife with that?
Oh, honey, together. I thought you were the fridge. Punch, die. That's
so they got a huge shadow thing. They use fridges as a size reference.
Is it bigger than a bread box kind of thing? I get it.
Kenzie went and stayed in a hotel because she didn't want to stay in the house. Kenzie would be home alone and she'd hear tapping, but not on the windows or the doors. It would be on the couch she was sitting on.
Oh, scary.
That's would get
classic haunting shit. That's like fucking what was the house? The famous haunting, the movie they made about it. Pulling such a blank here. This is the worst.
The Langoliers.
It's gonna come to me in 4 seconds.
Amityville.
That's it, Amityville. This is some Amityville shit. You know, tapping on the walls.
Here is, I think, a frame from when the spoon in the coffee moves. He's just watching just swirl. His dogs are looking. That dog right there is looking at it next to his head.
They're both kind of looking in that direction, but they're not really freaking out.
They could be watching television as well. Seems to be what he's doing until he notices.
What is this barber doing?
Listen, male pattern baldness affects us all differently.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's exactly the same every time.
He went into his barber and said, "Give me the Steve Renazizi."
So Nick continues, and I have a bunch. This is all just filled with instances that he is using as evidence to be like, something's going on. It has to be a ghost. We played with Dusty. It has to be Dusty or some demon. Dusty's just the name of the demon.
I guess
he needs to fart. Anyway, listen to the Grave Nugget.
Maybe we've got an Annabelle on our hands, and it's not. Dusty's just a fake name for Chronobolicus, the time render or whatever.
One morning, I woke up, Nick says, and it felt like someone was in the house. I told Kenzie to stay in bed and went into the living room and saw a female spirit. Scary experience.
Go on.
The scariest experience of my life. He said it was very detailed.
Thanks.
She looked 9 or 10. Her outline was vibrating. And there was a blue
9 or 10?
9 or 10.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought he meant like 9 or 10 detailed. I was like, what are you talking about,
Dude, like he turned the JPEG setting on this ghost all the way to maximum.
I'm telling you, dog, this bitch was high def. Crinkly.
But her outline was
an LA 9 or like a Cleveland 9.
We're going to Cleveland 10. I'm going to go good for her still. Her outline was vibrating and there was a light blue around her. Okay. She was wearing floral print pajamas spelled with a Y.
Jeez. What? Oh, like
pajamas?
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 Yeah. Oh, no, pajamas. Yeah.
Well, it's because it's the mirror.
Right.
Like what our grandmas used to wear.
Sure.
She was looking out the window.
Or grinamas.
She was looking out the window and then she evaporated. And he screamed to Kenzie that he'd just seen a ghost in the house. That's when they tried to make contact. They asked her name and the ghost said, Dusty. I asked if they wanted us in the house and it started laughing. The next day, the ceiling caved in. It was an 8-foot circle and no one could tell us why. He says they were very happy to move the first time. Nick says when he moved into his current house, the activity cranked up a notch, and the couple were already arranging to move immediately. Nick said after a month of living there, things started to crank up a notch. Good writing.
How many more notches do they have?
Well, we're cranked up 3 notches, okay, in the new house.
So far.
That's where the evidence is coming from. They got 2 cameras to catch it all on video. Yeah. They see orbs all the time that hang out and separate into 2. My TV has been ripped off the wall, Nick says, the spoon moving, the pen rolling, my name being called in the house at least 3 times per week.
Alcohol.
I hear, hey, Nick, in my own voice, and I get goosebumps.
Weird. That's so strange.
Kenzie doesn't want me doing investigations in the house because it gets so bad. He's all like, let me do it again. And she's like, last time you did it, I had nightmares that made my ears bleed. Please stop.
Yeah. Please stop. Right. Please stop stirring the pot. Or, I mean, for our sake, don't. But for your wife's sake, do. Maybe he's not misconstruing his alcoholism. Maybe he is addicted to hunting for ghosts, just like us, you know. Maybe he's like, I gotta go back in for one more EMF scan.
We're almost done with it. I have a few more things to read.
Danger.
Yes, exactly, like Catwoman.
So he has things going missing, moving around. My bedroom doors lock themselves like someone is inside. I think we have an aggressive spirit. I don't think it's a demon.
Everything about this sounds like his wife is trying to escape him.
Except for she wants to come back. She wants to live in the house. She has to stay in the fucking hotel down at the Motel 6 because he won't stop fucking.
It is what it sounds like. So through his
when you're really good at scumbaggery, they'll come back.
Through his investigations, he thinks that it is not a demon, but a really rare poltergeist.
Oh.
Nick took up paranormal investigation as a hobby in 2019 after an accident at work where his heart stopped 3 times and he had to learn to walk again.
And he got ghost powers.
He believes he may have formed a connection with the afterlife because the near-death experience and suspects the spirit latched onto him when investigating an abandoned hospital.
This is the plot to Ghost Town with Ricky Gervais, but go ahead.
Nick said, I started going to abandoned mansions, hotels, and hospitals. There's a hospital in town that's been abandoned since the 1940s.
Just seeing what was there. Whatever I can take.
That's when everything started happening at my house.
I went to an abandoned hospital, looking for copper wire.
This man says cranked up a lot.
He says cranked up, and there's so many notches. I think that's a very American thing. I think we're always cranking it up a notch.
Okay, so he says, I got hurt on the oil rig when 300 pounds of machinery fell 50 feet and hit me.
Yeah,
I broke 27 bones in my back, collapsed my right lung, and had my head super glued.
Jesus Christ.
Had his head what?
Super glued.
Super glued? What does that mean?
I think his head was off and they had to put it on.
I had to pop it back on. They had to lick one end and stick it to the other.
When you split any of your skin open in your muscle, they just super glue it.
I super glue it shut. I guess I knew that. Yeah.
So
okay.
there's some weird activities. It does seem, if we're putting together a timeline, that after he dies 3 times in the accident I just described, where his head had to be super glued back to his body.
I mean, you say died 3 times. His heart stopped 3 times.
Yeah. Well, that's not necessarily the full definition of dying. But yeah, I mean, he touched it. He touched the void.
That's definitely what happened. That's Nate's right. That's probably how he's describing it. You know, his heart stopped 3 times for long periods of times, and they had to bring it back going. But he then gets into paranormal investigations.
Yeah, isn't this
and his
also
theory is that because he's
of
died 3 times and touched the other side.
the dead zone?
No, it's flatliners.
Flatliners are
Yeah, they died. They like to kill themselves, and then something follows
The
them.
original, not the remake.
Right. Yeah.
But that's been the paranormal news from Abilene, Texas. A family is actively being
By the
terrorized
in the UK.
Yeah. Because American politics is all obsessed with this fucking culture war and train derailment and Trump's back. Anyway, crazy shit in Texas. Paranormal news, you're only going to hear it from us and themirror.co.uk. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you like what we do, give us a 5-star review wherever you can. It really helps us out. Make sure you check out our Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfradar. Check out our Twitch channel every Monday, D&D. Enjoy it. Enjoy the dice rolling. The dice tell a story. And right now, I think we're on the planet. I forgot what we're doing.
On the surface of the planet.
Story.
Yeah. It's going to be great. Mondays, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And now let's sign off on our Ultra Duper Seeker sign-off line from one Dylan Gutierrez. 1, 2, 3. Suspect
boys! Space
versus
whomever.
If it's true, then you understand you've been lied to. For soul removal, that means that you losing every time you don't know the fucking truth.